All right, let's talk about Nadis, chakras, and yogic physiology. There are 10 types of pranas broken into 2 categories of 5 pranas and 5 upapranas. Today is introductory level stuff, so let's just group all of them together in the word prana. Prana is life force. In Chinese, it's called qi. Most Westerners are familiar with the Japanese pronunciation qi. Your life force is not simply floating around you or moving about in any way it wants to. It's traveling along set, non-physical pathways called nadis. The word nadi in Sanskrit means flow. In traditional Chinese medicine, these pathways are called meridians. Imagine your vascular system being non-physical and carrying non-physical life force instead of blood. It's not 100% accurate, but it's a good visual to help understand. The human system has 72,000 nadis. The left side of the body and the right side of the brain are the feminine, lunar, intuitive, emotional 36,000 nadis. These originate at a main hub called the Ida, starting at the left side of the base of the lowest vertebrae of the spine and crisscrossing its way up the spine until it terminates at the right nostril. The right side of the body and the left side of the brain are the masculine, logical, solar nadis. Those 36,000 nadis originate at the main hub called the Pingala, starting at the opposite right side of the base of the spine and crisscrossing its way up the spine until it terminates at the left nostril. Even modern science knows that the left brain controls the right side of the body and vice versa, and so is every yogi ever in the last 40,000 years. There's also the Sushumna, which sits dormant, running straight up the middle of the spine, but it's a little too advanced for today, and it really doesn't matter anyway since you don't work on it. It just turns on by itself by working on the other stuff. The Ida and Pingala become very blocked up and require regular sadhana, usually specific alternate nostril breathing techniques, to allow the prana to flow out of the main hubs once you break up the blockages. Most yoga systems call the main practice for this nadi shuddhi, meaning energy channel purification. Here at Yogashakti, we use the Rishi Garanda Samhita manual called Yogashaktiny, which calls it Sukha Pravaka Pranayam, or easy proceeding mastery of life energies. While Garan mysteriously adds a rhythmic breathing pattern to what he called Nadi Shuddhi. In either case, it's an Upa Yoga practice. Instructions are available on YouTube. If you need help finding them, just ask me after this. All 72,000 nadis meet in only one place in the body, the Manipuraka, or the navel/solar plexus chakra, and then redistribute themselves across the body. The sound ah is the mantra for the Manipuraka. Just make the sound and you will feel the reverberation by your navel. Go ahead if you like. This sound carries the vibration across the entire body by way of all 72,000 nadis because of its situation. And that is the only point in the body where all 72,000 nadis meet. So if you're giving yourself mental affirmations, a few ahs sends it out to every cell in the body. Stick to a sacred number like 7. Anytime 3 nadis meet, they create a triangular shaped intersection which creates a chakra that is partially physical and partially non-physical. A chakra, despite being triangular, is a Sanskrit word literally meaning circle, but is usually translated as wheel because of their behavior. As the energies come and meet, they start spinning. Chakras that spin clockwise push energy out of the body, while chakras that spin counterclockwise pull energy in. There are various practices to change your chakra speeds, but that's also not for today. Most people are aware of the 7 primary Kundalini chakras. Kundalini is Sanskrit for coiled. This energy is blocked from rising past the root chakra by a knot called the Brahma Granthi between the root and sacral chakras. And a great deal of the work that you do on the spiritual path is to raise the coiled up Kundalini energy from the root chakra up to the crown. So everybody thinks there are 7 chakras. In reality, there are 114 chakras in the human system. 2 are outside of the physical body. The remaining 112 arrange themselves into 7 distinct dimensions, with 16 aspects of each dimension. These 7 dimensions are the 7 primary Kundalini chakras, but in reality are actually 21 chakras, as each of the 7 Kundalini chakras actually have separate corresponding Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna chakras, with each set of 3 chakras functioning as a single unit. While these chakras have physical manifestations in the body, they also have subtle manifestations called kshestras, meaning a place where someone resides. The internal ones are called antar kshestras, and the external kshestras, which are more exuberant, are called baya kshestras. Unfortunately, the modern colors ascribed to the 7 Kundalini chakras are completely wrong. So for this next part, I'm going to gray out the chakra colors. Starting at the geographical bottom, the root chakra, properly the Muladhara, which literally means root of existence, is at the very base of the spine at the perineum, midway between the genital and anal orifices. The Muladhara is incorrectly represented in red in modern chakra charts. In fact, the true color of the Muladhara is yellow. Your Kundalini energies are blocked from passing the Muladhara by the Brahma Granthi knot, stopping them from reaching the sacral chakra. This chakra is about your most basic survival processes. So if your Muladhara energies are dominant, food and sleep become the most important aspects of your life. But transforming this chakra can make you absolutely free from the processes of food and sleep. Above that, at the sacrum, is the Svadhisthana, literally where your being is established, known in English as the sacral chakra, located at the sacrum. This chakra is about reproductive energies, making another chakra that is strictly about survival. When the sacral is dominant in your system, pleasures become the most dominant thing in your life. Above that is the Manipuraka, or Manipura, literally city of jewels, the energy center of fire at the solar plexus chakra at the navel. Another chakra about survival processes. This is the maintenance center of the body, where you are attached to the umbilical cord, and is ascribed to the element of Agni, or fire, which includes digestion, the electrical firings that make your body and brain run, metabolism, and more. It is also responsible for the egoic identity, which exists strictly for survival. When the Manipuraka is dominant, you will become a very active person who gets things done. The Manipuraka is the only place in the body where all 72,000 nadis meet. Above that is the middle chakra, the Anahata, literally unhurt or unbeaten. We call the heart chakra. This is located at the soft spot just below where the ribs meet at the base of the sternum. When this chakra is dominant, you become very creative. When the Anahata is active, you become very aware of the endless varying shades of color. The lower 3 chakras are strictly about survival processes. The upper 3 are strictly spiritual. And then in the middle is the symbol of 1 triangle facing up and 1 triangle facing down. This is why the symbol has become widely used by so many religions. Next up from that is the Vishuddhi, literally especially pure, the throat chakra. When this becomes dominant, you will become very powerful. When Shiva drank poison, he stopped it at his throat. So when the throat chakra, the Vishuddhi, is active, the poisons of the outside world like hate and mistreatment are filtered out. Next is the Agya, literally perceive, command, or authority. This is your third eye, which is located between your eyebrows. Just like the rest is incorrectly colored, this chakra's true color is orange. When this becomes dominant, you gain intellectual realization, which brings you peace and stability. When active not just physically but also spiritually, it enables the perception of that 99% of existence around you that is currently outside of your perception. Seekers engaged intensely in sadhana towards the third eye wear orange because that is the true physical color of the chakra, not just the symbolic color. It's the actual physical color of the chakra. Finally, the Sahasrara, literally thousand petal, referring to a lotus blossom. That's your throat chakra. Once your energies reach here, you become completely ecstatic for no reason and without external stimulation. Simply being connected to the divine leaves you extremely high all the time, as the brain produces massive amounts of endocannabinoids that make the strongest cannabis look like child's candy. Since the compound is not THC but a different cannabinoid that you are meant to have, this is experienced with absolutely no dulling of the mind at all, and even greatly sharpening the senses, and does not cause any of the anxiety related to cannabis use. There is no set path from the third eye to the crown, so it is called falling upward, like jumping into a bottomless pit. Many yogis get stuck just before here, lacking the complete trust it takes to jump off the cliff with their guru to the final step. Activating these 21 or 7 chakras by themselves will lead to physical, psychological, and emotional completion of your survival processes, but do nothing for you energetically or spiritually. This is where the asanas, which make up but existed before Hatha Yoga, when used correctly, can activate the entire system. So again, 2 of the 114 chakras are outside of the body. Of the remaining 112, 4 are never worked on because they'll blossom on their own by working on the remaining 108. And there's that magic number again, 108, the most important sacred number in all of numerology. Most of the chakras that are in your body are actually in your hands. Creating mudras with your hands connects different chakras that change the way energy flows by creating energetic circuits. Prayer mudra is a very special one because by matching the identical chakras from the left and right hands against each other, your energies flow in a loop, and the Ida and Pingala can balance themselves with enough time and consistency of holding it. This is why you'll see people walking around just holding prayer mudra. Alternatively, touching other people at all is bad and creates a type of karmic entanglement called Urnanabandha, which is Sanskrit for contract of debt from the root word bandha, meaning lock, which we won't get into today, but we will say that holding hands and shaking hands causes a great number of the chakras in both people to exchange energies in unpredictable ways that vary from having no control over what the energies of the other person are like to not even really controlling which chakras you're connecting to each other. So the energy flow is going to be completely random. These are a couple of the reasons why Indian people traditionally bow as a greeting instead of shaking hands, hugging, kissing, or otherwise having physical contact. There are also several chakras in the feet and an entire science of where and how to touch a guru's feet to access his power, although most people dive and grab at guru's feet without a clue about how to do it right. Think of all the acupuncture points in the feet. This works because of all the meridian channels and chakras running through the feet. Does everybody know the story of Swami Vivekananda? He was a scientist, not by trade but by nature. He went around as an 1800s myth buster, disproving pseudoscience of the day. One day when he was 18 and full of questions, that would have been 1881, everyone told him that to get his question answered, he must go to a guru named Ramakrishna. So he went to him and asked, "Can you prove there is a God? And can you make me experience it?" Ramakrishna put his foot on Vivekananda's chest and put him into a state of samadhi for hours. Samadhi is Sanskrit for total self-collectedness, meaning that you are connected to the higher states of reality in absolute mental concentration while still bound to the body, and typically losing all sense of time, experiencing hours, days, weeks, or more as mere minutes. Vivekananda went west and became the first teacher of yoga in America. So it is a common sight to see people dive for Guru's feet, trying to grab them without any actual understanding of how to do it so it actually works. If you've ever seen Sadhguru in person, before each time he comes out, his people make a special announcement about leaving his feet alone. He hates it so much when people do that without permission that he calls it molesting his feet. So the Muladhara is not really red, it's actually yellow. And the third eye, the Sahasrara, is not really indigo, it's actually orange. Now let's talk a little bit about color itself. What color is my shirt? Just shout it out.
Yellow.
According to modern physics, you literally can't be more wrong. The answer is that my shirt is every color except yellow. When light hits the shirt, or anything at all that is physical, it absorbs all the colors that it is and reflects away what it's not. Remember all that Vedanta, that everything is Maya, or illusion. It doesn't mean the world isn't real, even though modern science is actually starting to say that. That's really not important. You're here, so it doesn't matter. What it means is that everything about your experience of it is illusion, because it's filtered through your faculties, thoughts, experiences, and even laws of nature. Around 70 to 80% of wrongful convictions are due directly to eyewitness testimony because different people experience the exact event differently and even contradictorily due to a phenomenon called the Rashomon effect, named for Akira Kurosawa's classic 1950 film based exactly on this. The colors we see are only one tiny aspect, but try your hardest to imagine everything you see as every color except what you see. The closest we can even comprehend would be a negative from a film camera, and that's not even close to accurate, but it's still helpful. Whatever color you reflect away is added to your aura. So wearing the color that corresponds to a particular chakra adds the energies that work best for that chakra to your system. This is one aspect as to why many ascetics spend their lives naked, so they do not add any more baggage to themselves that they have to work out. Because they understand what they're already carrying around that needs to be worked out is already substantial. When that is not socially acceptable, they will wear a simple loincloth and nothing else. So for the 99% of us unattained seekers, yellow is the best color you can wear on top, giving you the type of energies that do the most good for where you are on the path. Gautama the Buddha, in order to raise consciousness on a widespread scale, never stayed in a town for more than a day. As he did this, converting people to monks, they were given yellow robes, because the processes they were given at the initial stages were very simple because of the time he had available to spend with them. And because the color yellow, the actual physical color of the root chakra, did not require any preparation. This laid out a slow path to be walked over several lifetimes because the process was about stabilization, not realization. Those of us practicing in modern times have access to teachings for longer than a day, but yellow is still important to wear because it helps stabilize the system to prepare it for more advanced processes that push us towards realization. Remember that the physical aspect of the Muladhara is actually yellow. The Muladhara is the most basic chakra in the body, and working on this chakra helps stabilize the platform for everything else to come. Later, when the Buddhist monks moved on to becoming arhats, or enlightened monks, the word being Sanskrit for one who is worthy, the arhats changed from yellow to ochre-dyed orange robes, as orange adds the type of energy to your aura that works with the third eye chakra, the chakra of enlightenment. It is also the color of the Kriya Yoga path and the color of renunciation, signifying that you have dropped everything and completely dedicated yourself to the spiritual path. You've dropped your family, material possessions, security, money, and your entire past. After the Buddha died, the Buddhists changed to maroon robes to distinguish themselves from the sannyasi yogis that were nearly 30% of the Indian population at the time, forgetting why they wore orange in the first place. All 112 chakras in the body are partly physical and partly non-physical, and each one corresponds to a certain color, even if that color is outside of your range of perception. The two outside the body do not have a color that they correspond to because they are completely non-physical and therefore do not reflect light, so they cannot have a color. So we know the 7 primary colors that make up the rainbow: Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. The 8th color, white, or Atvarang, is both no color and all 7 colors combined, symbolizing that it is all-inclusive. We all know that white reflects everything away and black absorbs everything. So white should be worn for the pants, blocking all energies from entering the chakras below the waist. Those who are not ascetic, wishing to walk the spiritual path but still be involved in other aspects of life, will wear white so they can be involved in life without gathering anything extra that needs to be worked out. At the same time, wearing all black in a powerfully energized space like this, where you want to imbibe the energy, is the right thing to do. So here at the ashram, black is a great color to wear if you change into it when you get here and out of it when you leave. One should only wear black when you are absolutely sure about the quality of the space you're in.